Hey, what's up guys? In this video we'll be covering Kolin's best normal attacks, including her standing, crouching, jumping, command normals, as well as her target combos. I'll be explaining their practical uses and which normal should be using for which situation. Also, if you guys don't play Kolin yourselves, I'm sure this video will still be helpful in fighting against her, so you can just understand her a little better. So let's start with Kolin's crouching light punch. This is your 3-framer, so this is your absolute fastest normal attack. This is what you want to use when you're in a scramble situation when your opponent's really close to you. Or you can hit check with it constantly during the match to stop him from dashing in on you. Or if you want to dash in yourself, you want to use this normal first. Now this easily converts into itself, so you can go crouching light punch twice into any kind of bread and butter combo. It also easily converts into her standing target combo as well, so you can go crouching light punch into standing light punch, and that converts into more damage. Also, what I like to do is I kind of fish for counter hits with crouching medium punch. So if you get a counter hit on your opponent, which is easy with a 3-framer, you can go into crouching medium punch and you can get some extra damage from that and easily confirm off that. And going to the crouching medium punch is safe on block as well. Also, when people are canceling their attacks into command dashes, for example, you want to know you're going to get a counter hit, so it's good to convert like that as well. Also, surprisingly, this is actually the same range as her crouching light kick. So keep that in mind as well. Not as far range as her standing light punch though, of course, which is 4 frames. So besides crouching light punch, standing light kick is pretty much your most important light attack. The range on this is absurd. It's extremely far for a light attack. It kind of reminds me of Birdie's crouching light punch, but it's slow. It's 5 frames. So some characters have, medium attacks that are 5 frames. Actually, Kolin's standing medium kick is 5 frames. So it is on the slower side, but the range makes up for it for sure. It's active for 3 frames, which means that when you do a standing light kick, you can actually just input a special, for example, and if it hits thin air, it won't come out. But if your opponent sticks out a normal attack or he kind of walks into it, then it'll just easily convert into something, for example, which is really convenient. Also, you can harass with this. I see a lot of Kolin players that like to go standing light kick into light parabellum, and then they go into another standing light kick, and they'll just keep harassing like this because you're still in light kick range. The thing is that light parabellum is -4 on block, so it's definitely not safe. But there's a lot of characters that actually can't punish it from that range. So you can harass with that. You can also do a little mind game and go for a counter afterwards as well. Also, another thing that standing light kick is really good for is basically salvaging stray hits. So for example, crouching medium punch, if you want to go into a standing medium kick, you'll be out of range sometimes like this, which really sucks, but you can salvage it with a standing light kick. So you're always in range basically. In fact, I prefer using standing light kick just because it's so much more reliable on combos. And the same thing with standing hard punch. If you land a really far standing hard punch, you can salvage it with standing light kick. So standing light kick, really important normally you should be using for Kolin. Alright, let's talk about Kolin's standing medium punch now. This is 6 frames. It's a little on the slower side, but this has an excellent hitbox. It's really, her hitbox is tucked behind her fist. So this is another really good attack that you want to buffer into specials. So besides, standing medium kick's got no range, right? Crouching medium kick's got good range, but you can't cancel out of it. So with standing medium punch, you want to buffer into specials constantly. And then, like I said, if your opponent sticks out a normal, he walks into it, then you instantly convert that into damage. And it is active for 3 frames, which is not bad. So let's talk about crouching medium kick now. Crouching medium kick is pretty slow. It's 8 frames, but it's really low profile. There isn't too many low profile attacks in this game, so this will kind of tuck under other high attacks, for example, and beat a lot of characters' normals. You can't convert much out of it. You can just convert your V trigger, but you can't special cancel all of that, unfortunately. But since this is low profile, this will go under things like Armika's drop kick, for example. You can go right under it and convert it into full damage, which is nice. And it's your furthest range medium attack, and like I said, it hits low. So even though you can't get much out of it, it is your general medium poking tool you want to use besides your standing medium punch in general. And just keep in mind that it's 8 frames. It's a little slow. Alright, so let's talk about Kolin's crouching hard punch now. I would say this is your most reliable anti-air attack. This is definitely what you should be using. It comes out in 7 frames, which is pretty fast for a hard normal, and I would say that's one of the main reasons why this is reliable. Another thing too is that the hurt box is slightly tucked under the hitbox, so it should outright beat attacks as long as you're spaced correctly and as long as you input this early. The only issue is it doesn't cover directly vertically above your head. You pretty much have to force to use a counter if you want to use some kind of ground move to anti-air in that way, so that is the weakness of it. You primarily want to use this for mid and long range. You can also special cancel out of this, but there's not too many things you can special cancel out of it to make use of it. If you go into like a hailstorm, for example, the opponent recovers way before you do, so he'll just jab you out of it, for example. You could do something gimmicky, like go into an EX vanity step, and something like this. And go for like a cross-up, for example. There are ways to make it hit in front as well. But yeah, you get the gist of it. I would say crouching hard punch is your primary anti-air. Okay, so the next normal attack I want to talk about is calling standing hard punch. I really like this hard normal actually. It's only -2 on block, so this is safe to use on block. And if you do land a hit with this, it's easy to confirm into a standing light kick and get damage that way. If they do block it though, it actually causes a lot of pushback. So it pushes them back pretty far, and since you're -2, they will likely try to challenge you because it is their turn. But most of the time, since you push them back, their normals are just going to hit thin air in front of you. And then what you can do is just stick out a standing light kick afterwards, or a standing medium punch, and buffer that into a special. And if they do stick out an attack, you can snag them and capitalize and get free damage that way as well. Now another thing I should mention is that this is one of Kolin's crush counter attacks. It's not the best because you can't really convert much off of it unless you're like point blank range. What you can do is try to do an option select by buffering a special really late after you press hard punch. And what should happen is if it's a crush counter, then your special should come out. But as long as you're inputting your special really late afterwards, it shouldn't come out if it's just a normal hit. And this should happen. So I guess you can fish with it that way as well. Alright, so calling standing hard kick now. This actually has a really good anti-air hitbox. It's just unfortunate that it starts up so slow. This is 11 frames. So this is really slow. I would say it's almost impractical. It uses anti-air on reaction because of how slow it actually is. But fortunately, it does have a really good hitbox. Even if they jump in really far range on you, you could probably snag them with this. Also, it's a crush counter, so if you do land a counter hit anti-air, you can convert that into a lot of extra damage, which I showed in one of my previous videos. Another thing about her standing hard kick is that it whiffs on crouchers. So you have to keep this in mind, especially when you're trying to do your big punish combos. If you do like a jump in, for example, you have to recognize this, and then if they're crouching, you have to convert into standing hard punch instead, and you can salvage the damage that way. Because sometimes when you jump in, they'll be crouching, right? That's why you hit them in the first place. But the main reason why you use this normal is because it's your main crush counter tool. So when you block an invincible reversal and such, you want to go for full damage conversion, you get a full dash in with this. So you go like this, crouching medium punch. You convert that into any of your target combos, for example, or you can convert it into a bread and butter. But that's pretty much what you're using her standing hard kick for. Alright, let's talk about some jumping attacks now. Let's start with Kolin's jumping light kick. So this is notable because it's your only cross-up attack. Unfortunately, it is a light attack, so you don't get much hit stun. So I like to convert this into like a crouching light punch, for example, just to make sure I get something off of it. Like if you want to go into a medium, you gotta jump in pretty deep to get a hit, for example. Plus the horizontal range isn't that good. Like it'll whiff if you're not deep enough. So that kind of sucks about it too. It's not the best cross-up, but it's your only cross-up pretty much. Okay, moving on to Kolin's jumping light punch. I want to mention this just because this is your good air-to-air. It just comes out really fast. So if you're blocking like something from your opponent and then you see him try to cross you up, you can just jump back and swat him out of the air. So this is really reliable for that. Let's talk about Kolin's jumping medium kick now. This has really good horizontal range for an air-to-air. This is something I would use if I was neutral jumping, for example, and you're trying to bait out some kind of forward moving special, for example. Something like that. And even though the hurt box is not the best on this, it'll usually beat out a lot of attacks just because it has decent range. Alright, so the last jumping attack I want to mention is Kolin's jumping hard kick. This has got a really good hitbox. It's a moving hitbox that moves downwards and goes pretty much underneath Kolin. And why this is good is that it beats out a lot of poor anti-air attacks, especially if you hit it really early. It's deceiving how early Kolin actually hits you when she's jumping at you. Another thing too is that it looks like you're going to cross the opponent up, and you can hit this early and hit them in front. This kind of reminds me of Rashid's jumping hard punch. So when you do use this normal, make sure to press it early, and you can still easily convert off of it. Alright, let's talk about Kolin's command normals now. Let's start with Kolin's back hard kick. So our back hard kick, you pretty much want to use this normal when you want something that's super long range. It's really slow. It's 15 frame startup. You can use this as an anti-air, but since it's so slow, it's pretty much impractical to use. In the situation when you use this as anti-air, you probably want to use standing hard kick, because at least that's 11 frames. This is also a crush counter, but the crush counter is really poor, like our standing hard punch. You can't convert really anything off of it except for like a V-trigger, for example. So pretty much use this when you're forced to use a normal attack. You want to stay at a safe range on your opponent and still be able to poke him. It is a hard normal, so it does have some priority over other medium attacks. And she does stick up her leg, so it does beat some low attacks as well, since they need something that hits low and is far range as well to beat this outright, without whiff punishing it, that is. Alright, Kolin's other command normal is her forward medium kick. This is your overhead attack. It starts up in average speed and it's -6 on block, so your opponent can punish you if they block it. But what makes this unique is that if you get a counter hit with this, even though it does 2 hits, you still get the hit stun bonus. It does +1 on hits, so on counter hit you're +3, so that means you can link a crouching light punch afterwards. And you can easily see the counter hit message and then convert this into some kind of combo. There's not too many characters that can actually benefit from extra hit stun and counter hit moves that do more than 1 hit, except for like Feign, for example. Finally, let's talk about some notable target combos. Let's start with Kolin standing light punch, medium punch, hard punch. This is -9 on block, so if the opponent blocks it, you're dead. So you do want to confirm this, but it's really easy to confirm. You can start from a crouching light punch, for example. That'll give you enough time to stop when you see them block it. Or you can do 2 standing light punches, and that easily converts into it as well. Okay, so Kolin's V-skill target combo now. Standing medium kick, hard punch, V-skill. If you stop at the hard punch and they block it, you're dead. You're -9. And if they block the V-skill portion of it, you're still dead anyway. So you definitely want to hit confirm into this. Crouching medium punch is a great way. So you go crouching medium punch and you can see if they blocked it or not. Then you go in standing medium kick. So it gives you enough time to confirm it. Unfortunately, you can't special cancel out of this target combo at any part. So you have to pretty much force to go into V-trigger afterwards. And then from here you can go into like a hailstorm, or you can dash forward and go into a super. Alright, so out of all the target combos that come from Vanity Step only, I only like the crouching medium punch, the standing hard punch one. The other ones are just too unsafe. So for example, the one that goes crouching light kick to crouching hard punch, if the opponent blocks this, you're dead, even though it hits low, but it's just not worth it. There's another double hitting low one, crouching light kick into crouching hard kick. If the opponent blocks this, you're even more dead, that's even more unsafe. But the crouching medium punch, standing hard punch one is safe on block, you're -2. And if you land it, since you do less pushback on your Vanity Step, you're actually close enough for a standing light kick afterwards. So you go like this. And that's just a really easy conversion. So if you're going to use any target combo, I recommend that one. There's also the hard kick Vanity Step into light medium kick. I haven't found too much use for this, because unfortunately, when you land your light kick, even when you cross up with it, the medium kick doesn't hit, because it's not a cross up. So that's kind of wonky. See? And that's pretty much it, guys. Hopefully I've given you a good head start on if you're trying to learn Kolin, or if you're playing against her, now you have a better understanding of her normals. Don't forget to like the video, guys, and be sure to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll give you guys some more Kolin content in the future. So take care, everyone.